Okay, hello. Um, so I've been wanting to do an in-depth kind of exploration on womb healing for a while, and I was trying to think of what the best way to share this information would be, but I think audio is best so you can really listen to the steps that I'm kind of describing and to maybe try it while I talk about it. Um, okay. So, womb healing. I feel like over the past maybe year and a half or so, I've received a lot of kind of synchronicities related to womb healing. And I remember there was actually a girl that I follow on Instagram, and I remember thinking, "Oh, she kind of looks like me," and that's why it kind of got my attention. And she is like very very knowledgeable on the womb space and all that stuff, but this was a while ago. This was actually probably 2 years ago when I first saw her, and I was like, "What the heck is this? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's so abstract, the kind of stuff she was talking about. She was talking about the womb and how it's actually a spiritual thing, but that's just something I've never thought about. But it just kind of like got my attention and planted the seed of maybe there's something important about this that I should look into. And I did like I think I downloaded some books soon after, but I never read them. And then throughout the next 2 years, I would kind of get like just little nudges about it, and I'll be like, okay, I'm definitely interested in this. So I got into it and I read a bunch of books on it. One of them was called Womb Awakening. Another was by Sri Kaleshwar, he's like this spiritual master from India. And I'll actually link those two books. I actually have the PDF to the Sri Kaleshwar book, which it's like a rare book. So I'll link the PDF there. And I also read The Circle of Feminine Power. So all of those books combined kind of gave me like this unique perspective on the womb and made me finally kind of really get what it was all about, because it takes a while. I find a lot of the spiritual information is kind of cryptic, and it's one of those things where like if you get it, you get it. If you don't, then you're just you it's like something you have to feel or you have to intuitively get. But I like it when things are like explained kind of in a more grounded way. So I found The Circle of Feminine Power was more grounded and made me finally understand, like, okay, this is something that can be applied to our 3D lives pretty much. So, yeah, so I have some notes and I'm just going to go through the talking points, and then I will share kind of like my process for healing the womb, like just doing it yourself. And then we'll talk about like the results or like things that could happen after you do these like womb healing sort of exercises. So, okay, so I always thought when I first heard about the womb and how it is like this like point of power in the body. I was like, what's the point? Like, what does it actually do when you activate the womb space? Like, what's so good about it? And in my experience, it very much, when I connect to the energy in like a very intentional way and like in the right way, which I will explain in a bit, I find that the kind of like the fears that are kind of cycling in my mind, like the intrusive thoughts and the sort of, I kind of call it like technology that just kind of feels like that's implanted in my mind, it like disengages. So there's something about the energy of the womb space that actually overrides that energy in your mind, which I find very cool and really makes me understand how like how yeah the energy in the womb really is important, and it really is a big deal, because I find my mind just kind of becomes clear when I connect to it for long periods. Excuse me. So that's like that's the main thing that it does for me, honestly. And energetically, it makes me feel like I've like escaped the like, I guess you could call it like the technology of the Matrix. So those thoughts in your head that keep kind of tripping you up, or stuff that's happening around you that's stressing you out, like it's like you've removed yourself from all that because you're instead choosing to tune into a different matrix. I guess you could call it like the connecting to like your own source, like your mother, like, you know what I mean? It's like a different mother that you're connecting to. So I think that's really cool and really important. And one thing that really clicked for me after like reading all these books and actually practicing it is this is basically a reverse birth. So if you think about, wow, there's like some kind of like strange thing going on outside. Hopefully you can hear that. But so yeah, I see it as a reverse birth. So the womb space, like you could call it like a womb chakra. It connects you to your original birthplace, your original energy that you were born with, because in the book by Sri Kaleshwar, he says that like the womb, after a certain amount of weeks after a baby is gestated, the womb actually pulls in the soul naturally. So where is it getting that soul from? It's getting it from a certain source. Hopefully it is a good source. But so yeah, it's like a pathway. It's like people say it's a portal. People say it's like a connection point between you and where you came from, where your soul came from. Another thing that I kind of wondered about while I was doing these exercises is the question of, is there a point for men to do this as well? And in the book, Kaleshwar's book, he says that however long it takes a woman to like heal her womb space and clear her womb space, it takes a man like 10 times the amount of time. And I don't know if I totally believe that, because this information is just coming from a random person, and you never know, like things are always changing, like with the planets and stuff, so things could be different now. But I also am not, I will be honest, I'm not 100% sure if it is that much of a benefit for men to connect through this space, because it's interesting. Um, the spiritual accounts, like I'm talking about like accounts on Instagram and stuff, of men who talk about healing, they're always talking about the heart. And I find that very telling, how like the spiritual women are talking about the womb, the men are talking about the heart. It's almost like they know that that's their strongest center. So yeah, I think there's something about that. And I also, in my Blue People post, I talked about how like the opposite color of, this is like going super, super in depth into this, but the opposite color of orange, which would represent the sacral, which is the womb, would be blue. And if you look at that picture of Jesus and, Jesus and Mary Magdalene at the Last Supper, like she's wearing blue and he's wearing red. Opposite of blue is orange, so like that's her, where her freedom is, and then opposite of red is green, so that's where like his freedom is. But I don't know. This is just me kind of going off on just like thinking of just going off on my thoughts. But so that's something to think about. But I mean, in Kaleshwar's book, he talks about like men clearing out their womb and doing all that. So I think everyone can do it. And since we're all born with, like, we're all technically born with two X chromosomes, so it's like you're originally born as a woman if you're a man, and then you like slowly evolve into a boy in the womb. I'm not like, I don't know a ton about that, like how the genetics work, but so that's something. Like you could have, sorry, my phone just went off. You could have been, everyone is born with this energy center, sort of. So, okay, and then the next thing I wanted to talk about is connecting to something in your womb versus nothing. So in a lot of these, oh my gosh, sorry, my phone. Okay, we'll just have to ignore that. So yeah, so in a lot of these womb healing books, okay, I need to turn this off. Okay. Yeah, I turned off the volume. So in a lot of these womb healing books, they talk about connecting to your womb, but like connecting to kind of the black space in your womb, specifically in the book Womb Awakening. So they really talk about just going into the void of your womb and just kind of seeing what happens, like just float in there kind of. And I will be honest, like I tried that and it always ended up in just like a mishmash of like a whole bunch of different connections coming through. Like it just felt messy, and I would have very like it would pretty much cause me to astral travel every night. So it's almost like I went so like deep and off into the void that like my third eye just like blasted open. It's just it's like by connecting to the void, you're not being intentional with what you're connecting to. You're just kind of being like, okay, I'm out here. Whoever wants to talk to me can talk to me. Wherever I go, I don't really care. And if you think about how psychics, when they, and like me included, if we want to connect to a person and like read their energy or like do a reading for someone, we just intend to connect with them and then we can get all this information on them without ever meeting them or ever seeing them in person. Like we just need a picture of them pretty much. So this to me is an example of how exact your intention can be and how important it actually is. And I used to think that it wasn't important. I was like, oh, whatever's meant for me is meant for me and I'll connect to what I connect with. But no, I think it actually is very valuable to connect to like purposely connect to your like original birth energy, your original birthplace when you're going into your womb space. So that's like a big thing that I wanted to bring up. And what I like to connect to, which I learned a little bit of this in the Circle of Feminine Power. And I also learned a bit of this just from kind of like researching the womb space. And recently I came across a girl on Instagram who she was talking about how like water is the mother of all life. And for me, that really, really actually resonates because I would try to, like, I've done meditations where you connect to like the white light of source. And it's kind of hard for me because I've never actually seen white light. Like, I've never actually seen with my own eyes and experienced white light in this 3D reality. So, water to me is very universal. It's like when if I really think about it, my 3D body is made up of water, and in my in my astral travels I've seen water like in higher dimensions, like it exists everywhere pretty much, and I can only assume that the raw elements of nature, so water, air, earth, and fire, like they exist in higher dimensions. And it's also in my understanding that you don't have to believe this, but this is just what I feel and what I've like seen astrally and stuff, that our like solar system is like encased in a bubble, and outside of that bubble is an ocean, like it's water. So like outside of this matrix, you could call it, like the artificial matrix that like is making your mind all jumbled and stuff, outside of that is like pure water, and that's where your soul was born from, and you can connect to that water or that like element through your womb space. And it just really, that just really resonates with me. And my sometimes when I do energy readings on people, I will see that their body is made up of like certain elements. So they'll be dominant in air or water or fire, even, and earth. So, and I happen to be very dominant in water. So, and I find a lot of women are in general. So it's something that resonates with me. But if there's something that you feel your soul like came from or is made out of, then it's just whatever that is that you want to connect to. It really has to be very real for you and kind of grounding. And because like my body here is made out of water, it just kind of really makes sense to me that in a higher level, my body would also be made of water. And also because I have like we all have issues with our parents, but I guess because I was like separated from my mom like right when I was born, I have like this, I don't totally trust if I'm connecting to like an angel or like my higher self. Like if I'm connecting to a human, I'm just I'm like, you have an agenda. You're like you're just doing this for yourself or like something weird. So water to me is just so neutral. It's just like a material sort of. So yeah. Oh yeah, I already talked about the importance of intention. So yeah, okay. So for the actual process that I do, so I'll usually start, and you don't have to do this like laying down or like pick a separate time for it. You can do it like while you're walking down the street or like on public transit or anything like that. But I think it's good in the beginning to do it when you're in like a safe place, because certain emotions can come up and you want to be able to like express them, I guess. So basically what I do is you can start just by closing your eyes, like very simple. So close your eyes, and the first step is to find that real source of water in your womb. And I don't want you to think about it or invent it, but actually like like find it, like go into search mode and find that original birthplace, that original source of water in your womb. And I would encourage you to go deeper than you think to find it. Just go like a touch deeper than you think into your womb space. And your womb space is right like where your actual womb is, by the way. So I'll give you a minute or so to do that and just give yourself a chance to experience that. So really focusing on finding the real, authentic water in your womb. And I'll remind you to just go a little bit deeper than you think. Because it's there, it's definitely there. Okay. And once you found the water, it might just be like a little like small fountain, or it might be like a very small amount of water, or it might be a lot of water, whatever it is. Just like picture that water, and this water is real. This is really in your womb. And so once you've met this water and you found your source, now I want you to hand the keys over, so to speak, to your feeling mechanism. So totally take your mind out of it and use your feeling mechanism to just be with this water. And you might even choose to like move it around a bit or swish it around. And so keep feeling it. And if you feel like you're popping back into your head or your mind starts to turn on again, just put the control or like give the wheel over to feeling and your feeling mechanism, and go like a bit deeper down. So go a bit deeper to meet that water. And as you're feeling this water, and it might feel like a meeting, like you're uniting with an energy, so to speak. You might feel like little blocks in your body will get released. You might even feel like the muscles, the little muscles in your face just starts to unlock. And you might, like as you're feeling into this water, you might feel like a little tension or like a little squeeze in your body. And this is just a block being released. And continue to just stick with the feeling. You don't need to bring your mind into it. And you might even feel like a gentle wave of sadness or something like that. Just let that sadness or whatever that is, just let it like waft through you and out of you. And I'll encourage you to go even deeper into the water at this point. So with your feeling, just go like a little bit deeper. And so one thing that all of the books talk about actually is this rotating motion. that sort of clears and like cleans the womb space. So, usually at this point, when I feel like very, very grounded in this water, in this higher dimensional water that my soul has come from, I'll start to like um, rotate the water like into a whirlpool. And this is from the book, The Circle of Feminine Power. But all the books mention something about spinning the womb. So at this point, just kind of like gently like turn the water. And you can picture it kind of like clearing out any debris or darkness or any blocks in your womb space area. And in the Circle of Feminine Power, she talks about making this whirlpool and then going like deep into the like into it. And you can do that too if you want. It's just like a way to kind of go deeper into it. And at this point, if you pop back into your head, it's totally okay. You can just go back to searching for the authentic element and go down until you've met the water again. And also, you could remind yourself that no one's going to attack you, no one's going to interrupt you. You can like be in this space like right now. It's better to be there anyways, right? Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And it's really interesting because I find that when I do this and I really let it just do its thing, it's almost like it by connecting to it, it like organically clears what it needs to clear from your body. It's like you're not doing anything on purpose, you're not forcing it, you're just letting stuff happen. And I find that's actually the best way to go about energy healing. And yeah, I find that like the muscles in my face will actually like start to twitch because they're relaxing so much, which is like crazy. But that's just an example. That's like a physical reaction to your mind, like relaxing and the technology disengaging. It's like actually crazy how it works. And I would say, I don't know, it's good to do it maybe around 10 minutes or so, but just feel it out. And yeah, it's this like unlocking sensation that you feel throughout your whole body. And after you do this, you're kind of walking around and you feel like you're like a video game character who's like woken up in the game. You're like walking around, like kind of observing things from a slightly like third party perspective, like a stepped back perspective, because you're so connected to this original source energy that feels very authentic to you. Like this is you. You're actually just connecting to you. Yeah, and I'd say like when in doubt or if you feel like you can't focus, just go deeper and like switch over to feeling, 100% feeling, and not like it's like this action of like handing the keys to your feeling, if that makes sense. I will also sometimes feel like a warm feeling across my body, and my heart will like kind of unlock and like open. Even the muscles there will kind of like unlock. And this to me is like you're using like your womb, the energy from the womb to kind of synchronize your other chakras, you know? And it just feels very warm and fuzzy in your heart. And then your mind is clear. It's like very clarifying, I guess. And because your mind is so clear, you won't be judgmental of people because, like, the technology, like the AI technology, that's usually that I feel like our brains are connected to. Like, I actually feel like we have like floating icons above our heads, like The Sims. Like, I don't doubt that at all. That the technology kind of uses. But because it has disengaged, you just naturally won't judge people or judge yourself. It's like really, really great. And yeah, I definitely think there's a strong connection between the heart and the womb. It's funny because I made two sort of guidebooks that are in my shop about like how to heal the heart, how to heal the womb space. And like to me, these are like very powerful energetic centers in the body. And it's just, they are absolutely connected. Like there's no doubt about that. And I feel like the womb has the power to heal the heart and create like a coherence between the two. And I feel like if you know, if you understand the heart chakra more deeply, it gives like this additional layer to the womb healing. It just gives this extra level of being able to connect to people in a deeper way, if that makes sense. I feel the heart is very much about connecting to others, and the womb is about like connecting to yourself. It's like steps. I don't know. This is just what I think. What else? Yeah, and I will also, I do a lot of my meditation on trains and like planes and public transit. So I will also do this on public transit just to kind of pass the time. And I think that's actually a really good idea to do. Okay. And also, when you're doing these exercises, doing like the exercise I just walked you through, you might get this urge, I guess, to kind of move your body in sort of like a rippling motion, like kind of like a snake motion. And I think that's okay to do, but I don't think it's a good idea to let the energy go out the top of your head. I don't even know if that's actually possible to let it go out of your head, but I was told, like, psychically, not to let it go out the top of your head. I see people doing that, and there's something about it that doesn't seem right to me. But like, you can let it go to like into your mind and stuff, but don't let it go too far out, because it's like for you, it's not for someone else. But this is all about intention, so you can use your intention and your mind to control that. What else? Okay, I think that's it actually. Yeah. So to me, the main thing to take, like, that I take away from womb healing is that it's like the antithesis to whatever technology or whatever energy is causing your mind to kind of run in circles. It's like the opposite of that. And if the mind was like a survival mechanism where I kind of see the mind as like a bug, kind of going on autopilot and just like surviving. The womb is, you'll see, the energy is just totally different. It's not searching for anything. It's like water. It's like there's no plan. It doesn't have a plan. Yeah, and it just feels really good. Yeah, and if you want to learn more about how I see like the womb chakra and the heart chakra from like a psychic perspective, I have 2 books on that. And also, if you want to learn more about the heart space and like why you would want to heal the heart space, and also I think I write about how it connects to the womb, definitely check those out. And I'll link to everything I mentioned here, and maybe I'll add some additional notes as well. But anyways, yeah, it's very late at night when I'm recording this, but I'm very excited about this. And yes, I'll probably be talking more about this in the future, and I really hope that you guys try it and let me know what happens when you do. All right.